What's going on?
Just hanging out.
We're here. We're doing a Bacon is My Podcast Wednesday episode.
Yeah.
Discussion and drinks. And,
We got nothing to talk about.
well, okay. So, what we wanted to do with these episodes is have them more topical, more easy between, like, more up to date.
Just want to hang out more.
It turns out I'm a jerk. And I'm going to be away.
Right.
You'll see a remote episode eventually.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Which is fine. Right? But we still have to make this show happen.
Right.
Because then it would ruin the consistency of what just started.
Exactly.
Right?
Which would be terrible.
It would be terrible.
So we can't do that.
It would be terrible. Or as Charles Barkley would say, TRBL. Terrible.
Terrible.
So we were like, what are we going to talk about? Because we're on our third episode today.
Right, exactly. We just did a long episode. We just did last week's. So if you were around last week and you heard all about our cool
new endeavors,
Twitch endeavor, we just literally pressed stop on that.
Mm-hmm. And now we're here on this, and I have a new shirt on.
And he put a new shirt on to show you guys that
full disclosure,
the time has passed.
It's fucking cold. I'm a little cold, and I have a sleeveless shirt on. And this is nice. But speaking of which, this shirt can be found on baconsmypodcast.com.
Yeah. For those of you listening, it is our sweet,
soft,
hardcore BIMP shirt.
It's soft and it's warm. Also, if you want to like support the show in any way, go over there, check this out. You can also find all of our sponsors, Drink Wild Bills, Grill Your Ass Off, and PodDecks, where we'll get into PodDecks a little bit, but you can get all the best deals on those products.
We're going to
keep
you up to date. Keep you up
Mythical
to date.
Beards, Bacon 15 at mythicalbeards.com for 15% off, as well as Manscaped. I went blank.
I saw that. I saw that happen.
Thank you for the assist.
But we came in at the same time, so you just had a momentary lapse.
Yeah. So Manscaped, Bacon Pod, 20% off plus free shipping.
Yeah.
They got beard products now too.
Mm-hmm.
And
shave your face, clean your beans.
Clean your beans. And if you want to keep that beard soft, go to Mythical Beards. So one of the other things we were talking about though is
how do we come up with a topic today?
PodDecks, right? We have topics on our iPads here, and we said, you know what? Let's give it a whirl with the PodDecks, because we never actually did an episode, like a random episode.
They have an episode
on the cuff.
deck. So
the episode deck last week we did
a question
we did a question from the episode deck because it's never been used. Right? We've had it for over 2 years.
Yeah.
Never been used. I used it for the first time last week, and we're going to use it again this week.
Yeah, so what we're going to do is we are going to open up this episode deck, and we are going to pick 3 random cards. And
that's new. He just pulled that on.
We're going to flip those over, and we're going to pick the best of those 3 episode ideas.
I think we just go with all 3. Unless...
I mean, we can flip them over and we can just leave them flipped over and just talk.
Yeah, let's do that.
So, but I just figured in case we flip one over and it's like, neither of us have any idea what to talk about with this.
Okay. Well, we could still say, like, this is the thing, I've got nothing.
Right.
Let's move on.
Okay.
So, all right. So I'm going to put them out like this, right? So if you go to PodDecks.com, use the promo code BACON, you get 10% off. They're one of our first day one sponsors.
Indeed.
And
when he says like this, he means he's fanning them across our table.
Yes. So, Jimsy, you go ahead and pick the first one here.
I'm going to pick the first one. So, first episode idea.
Don't say anything.
Okay.
I'm going to pick the second one. All
right. And I'll come in here and pick the third one.
Okay. So we got 3 topics here. Let's start with your first one.
All right, the first one I picked was comment on industry gossip.
I know you scoffed at it.
Right.
But we, as everybody knows, are in local bands.
Okay.
So that's industry.
That's an industry. Okay.
That's industry, and you know what? A whole lot of gossip going on about
What's the word on the street?
I don't know. It's funny because I just literally had a conversation about that with my buddy Artie, formerly of Last Turn Off Broadway. He was asking me, I guess his band is looking for somebody for a fill-in and or not a fill-in, for a new member.
Okay.
To play in one of their spots. I don't know if they've gone public with it yet or not, so I'm not going to say anything else besides that.
Gotcha.
But
so somebody knows they're fired.
Well, there's gossip right there. No. They quit. They quit under the radar.
It's more fun if everybody thinks that.
Here we go.
Somebody in the band's listening is.
So
just
here we go.
Who is it?
Spreading gossip.
Yeah.
But I was saying, he asked me. He was like, "Hey, do you know of anybody who's looking to do this?" And I thought about it, and I'm like, dude, I'm realizing right now that my local nucleus has never been smaller.
Okay. Yeah.
And the band gossip stuff, where it used to run rampant, right? Like,
yep.
You and I could sit in a room and go, "Hey, do you hear about what happened with this and this person
did
whatever?"
This and
and we used to be able to go for hours about it. I've got no idea what the fuck is going on anymore. And you know what? I have found that ignorance is bliss. But yeah, you know what? For me, industry gossip, if it's really gossip, it's shitty.
Yeah, I mean, like, if we're talking about
You
just
don't want to besmirch people's name.
gossip in general, well, see, I don't always think of gossip as something that's besmirching, even though it tends to lean that way a lot.
Yeah.
Now, I will say that I also recently had this conversation with my band, yesterday, in fact, where I was talking to them and I was like, I really think that, because we were talking about, wanting to play shows and wanting to play more shows. And it's like, okay, well, who do we play a show with? Where do we play a show? Mm-hmm. Who do we put on our show? Mm-hmm. All those things. Who's making noise? Who's doing stuff? And none of us know. None of us know. And I used to really have a good kind of like ear to the ground in this, because
we used to have our fingers to the pulses.
Well, I used to work at a bar that had live music and had musicians that would come to it all the time. So I would always kind of hear what's going on there. But I used to go to shows a lot. Now, why don't I go to shows anymore? A number of reasons, but mostly, honestly, is because I lost my job at the bar and I can't afford it. Like, I just can't afford to go out. Hopefully that's changing. Mm-hmm. I'm taking on more work and doing more stuff and going to be earning more money coming up in the next few months. Mm-hmm. So that's one of the things that I told the guys in my band is I was like, I really, that's an aspect of it that I really miss. I miss seeing bands and finding the people that are working and finding the people that are really kind of like making noise. And kind of hustling. Like I love that. I love talking to people about what's going on in the scene and who's coming up in the scene, and those are things I really like doing. I also think that not having a bar gig took a big social aspect out of my life. Yeah. So
I could see that for sure.
That's definitely a hard thing.
You know what though? Like even DJ. Mm-hmm. For all of you guys who know, DJ is the host of the Thursday hit 27 years in running internet radio show, The Hard Rock Lunchbox.
Well, I tell you what, also one of the best performing shows on Strangerhood TV.
Yes, top 20.
The little network that we make together.
Exactly.
That also houses the video version of our show. If you're not watching it, you can jump over to strangertv.com and see all that stuff.
But but DJ he's put a call to arms out, and I know he's been super inundated with work and stuff like that. But I do know that he finds it harder to discover. I think maybe the fact that there is so much, and there are less boundaries in terms of being able to discover so much, and ease of being able to put stuff out there, really muddies the waters. So I think that our boundaries are way less local, right?
Yeah.
Our ability to put things out, and you know what? Maybe I sound like an asshole when I say this, whatever. But the fact that anybody can do it and just do it means that there's no quality control. Good, bad, or indifferent.
That's fair to an extent, yeah.
Good, bad, or indifferent. There's less quality control. Let's just say. But he put a call to arms out, and he's come to me and he's like, dude, I don't get the submissions that I used to get. Like he gets submissions. I know he used One Way, and he used to send shit to us all the time to torture us.
Yeah.
And he's like, man, they're just not coming in. They're not. And when they are, they're just not good. And it's been very hard to find good local music, and I think that with a place like Revolution, which was kind of the nucleus of where it was the heartbeat of our scene, and the fact that there's another venue out there that is kind of the heartbeat of our scene that we don't particularly care to have as the heartbeat of our scene, I guess.
Right.
Maybe that kind of does it, but I don't know.
Well, I don't know. I'll say it. AMH. AMH is a venue that could be an incredibly valuable resource and partnership for the local bands in the area. The good that they are doing, they're doing by putting on local shows and putting on original band shows, which is hard right now. A lot of venues are scared to put on maybe not scared. That's probably the wrong word. I don't have a better word. I'm not smart enough to come up with a better word right now, so you're getting scared.
Reluctant.
Better word. So they're reluctant to put on original bands because they can't guarantee the door, right? And they can't guarantee that they're going to make money. They can't guarantee that their clientele is going to stay, which I think also plays into your quality control thing, because if you're only letting people in because they can bring 20 people, then those people don't have to necessarily be good. It could be their first show. So a lot of venues are probably running into that. So they're leaning on established, and by established, you're looking at older, and you're also looking at tribute and cover, and it's an established thing that will bring a crowd and will draw people and will guarantee that people walking in, for the most part, are not going to walk in, hear something they immediately don't like, and leave.
Walk out.
They're going to walk in and hear something familiar, and even if it's not their thing, they're going to go, wow, this can be background for me. It's background for me everywhere else I go, anyway.
Sure.
So it's an easy thing to do because they can't afford it. Clubs can't stay open. They can't afford to do that.
No, you can't have a shit night.
So like I was saying, AMH has a really good opportunity to do it, and I am glad that they're doing original shows. I just personally, I won't play there because of the experience that we had with their management that they had. And it was, I don't want to get into too many specifics, but myself, every band on that night, and then bands from other nights after that have run into a problem of being completely disrespected, talked down to, money decisions changed on the fly, shows held hostage, doors locked with line of people outside in the rain, and being threatened with cutting your night off. Like, all these kinds of things are just, it doesn't speak well of a partnership. Right. So that place, I will put them on blast. I will say, AMH, man, like you could be great. You could be great, but you're not. And you're not because of the way you're treating people. And that sucks because we need a place to be. And there really aren't any. There aren't any. And if there are, you got to play on a Wednesday night or you got to play on a Tuesday night. And you got to play on a Tuesday or Wednesday night where if you don't bring 30 to 50 people on that Tuesday or Wednesday night, they never book you again.
Right.
How do you bring 50 people on a Tuesday or Wednesday night? Everybody's life sucks right now, man. You know, like I mean, yeah, if we want to get into industry gossip, that's what it is.
There you go.
That's what's going on. It's not interband, interpersonal shit. It's that all these bands were forced underground, you know, and we were forced to ply our trade online or create a podcast or, you know, whatever we can do to try and keep our names relevant and our music relevant in any way to reach people possible, because there's just very few people in the area that are able to help even if they want to. You've got great people out there like Dave Black, who is absolutely trying to help.
He's
people.
trying to wave the flag.
And he's trying to do it. And he's getting gigs for people. And he's getting gigs for people at good venues. But he's getting gigs for people at venues that some bands just can't do, you know, unless or it's not smart for them to do, because if they do it, it's a one-off and there's no way they're going to get back there.
Interruption.
I was going to do the hold up. Hey. But that was better.
Nice.
There's no time like today to take care of your hygiene.
Indeed.
And one of those things that can help you, if you're a man or a woman even, Manscaped. Manscaped can help you with their lawnmower 4.0.
Yeah.
Their lawnmower 4.0 has skin-safe technology. It's a ceramic blade. It's waterproof. It's got a nice little LED light, so this way you can see underneath all those crevices.
Shave your privates in the shower in the dark. Don't actually do that.
Don't do that.
But you could.
Yeah, you could with Manscaped.
Because you have a light.
Indeed. And for guys, listen, the perfect package 4.0 is like where it's at for you guys. Because it comes with not only the lawnmower, not only the weed whacker for your ear and nose holes.
Well, we got one. So bring it up real quick. What you also get, so yes, for one, you get the lawnmower 4.0, which is ceramic blades. It's not going to cut you. It's got a guard so you can, you know, make sure that you got a trim in some spots. You got to the skin in other spots. You make sure that beanbag's shiny. You know, we also have some...
Package that beanbag in...
underwear.
The underwear.
Yeah.
It's got the little ball pouch.
It does have the ball pouch.
And it's fantastic.
Yeah.
It's great.
Separate. It's technology.
This right here...
I like this.
is for when you are shaving your balls.
Yeah.
It's little placemats, so this way...
it's like a newspaper.
Yeah, but then you just... You shave them, you crumple it up, you throw it away. No mess, no fuss.
Yeah.
Right?
It's also got some. It's got some fun, funny articles in it.
It does. It does when you read.
I recommend you definitely read it, but not while you're shaving your nuts.
No. There's the ball deodorant.
Yes, I use it every day. Crop preserver.
And the crop reviver.
I don't use it every day, but I have used it plenty of times.
It is pretty fantastic. You need that midday spritz.
Yep.
Just go for it. Freshens you up right away.
Who doesn't love a little spritz on the beanbag?
Exactly. And where do I keep it all? Well, right here. The shed, baby.
You know what? The shed is a pouch for the things to clean your pouch.
Exactly.
Right?
I use it personally for my toiletries when I travel.
You do? I've seen it.
I've got multiple. I've got a few of them.
Uh-huh.
So, go ahead, manscaped.com. Use the promo code BACONPOD.
You get 20% off this entire order plus free shipping. Not only can you get the Perfect Package 4.0, but you can sign up for their program where they will send you new stuff automatically.
New blades.
Every month, every 2 months, every 3 months. You decide what you need. If you need new blades every 3 months, they'll send you new blades every 3 months. If you want to check out maybe the crop mops.
I can't talk about the crop mops enough.
They're my favorite thing.
Yes.
Get those every month.
When you come and you hang out with us and we see you and stuff like that, we always have crop mops on our person. So
yeah, it's
make
like
sure
a business card,
us.
but for Manscaped and not us.
Yes. So go ahead, manscaped.com, promo code BACONPOD, 20% off, free shipping. Call it a day. Thank you very much.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's no... That's the other thing that a lot of people need to realize too, and I think we could probably, based on what we've got into, we could probably get rid of these. But I'm going to keep them on the side either way.
Keep them on the side, yeah.
But I will say that you know, what people don't realize is you know, when you talk about putting on a big show and you talk about hitting a new venue and hitting a bigger venue or a nicer venue or whatever it is, like, and I'm not saying like this venue or this venue isn't great, right? I'll say it right now. Mr. Beery's, I book there consistently. Why? Because they're fair. Mm-hmm. The sound is great. They treat us right.
Yeah.
I always have a good time. It's always low stress. I show up when I run the show, right? Mm-hmm. When I book the show, I deal with nothing.
Right.
I literally have to deal with whether or not the bands show up and tell them what the lineup is. And you know, I'm the guy that doesn't give a fuck when I'll play first, I'll play last. I don't care.
Right.
Like I don't care.
Mm-hmm.
Doesn't matter to me. That's my stress. Everything else is taken care of. That's why I go to Beers. Now, aesthetically, if you're trying to put out an image out there that is, hey, we're playing big rooms with big things, you know what? You're not going to get that at Beers because it is a small stage. It is a local bar. It's, you know, capacity is 100 or 120 or whatever it is, mm-hmm. and that's that. It's not. But to me, personally,
if you can fill that room and you can get everybody rocking, it's a great time.
It's a fucking great time.
Yeah.
I'm going to say this,
but you're not
too.
going to take videos there.
I'm going to say this, too, and this is not a shameless plug or anything like that, but you could go to Beery's, and if you let them know ahead of time, they'll record your fucking set.
Yeah.
And they'll either mix it or they'll whatever, or they'll give you the raw tracks.
Mm-hmm.
I put out a live record because Mr. Beery's was good enough to be like, we mic everything up anyway. Let's fucking do it.
Yeah.
I made a live record.
You got good sound men there.
So
you got good people there.
So there's a huge thing to that. I know that perception and this and that. So that's that. But the reason why I go to Beery's is because that is where I enjoy doing shows because I don't have to worry about it.
Mm-hmm.
But back to your point, if you've got a band that, let's say like an 89 North, and they book them on a Wednesday night, and they, you know, they're able to bring X amount of people and or they're not, then yeah, it's a one-off. So as a band, you need to kind of look forward and go, cool, like we could take this national slot, or we can take this big venue slot on a Wednesday.
Mm-hmm.
But you have to think about then what?
Right. What comes after that?
It's a lot like
what comes next.
It's a lot like booking wrestling as well, and we talked about that with the Sami Zayn thing. And if Sami Zayn gets the title at WrestleMania, then then what? And you take this big gig at this big venue, and you're able to scrounge up enough people to get to 50, 60, 70 people on a Tuesday night at 10 o'clock. Let's say you do that. then what?
Right.
They're going to give you a Thursday night a month later.
And you have to bring all those same people again.
And then you have to go back to scrape the same well and go, hey, can you do me a solid again?
This is the problem, is that you hope that there were more people there already for one of the other bands or just there, and that those people become people that will come to see you. And that's your job as a musician wherever you go.
Right.
You know, like
right.
that's
that's the issue. And I think the issue is that a lot of and I'm not saying Dave Black, but I think a lot of promoters and a lot of venues will say, like, yeah, sure, here's the thing that we're going to figure out.
Right. Here's your brass ring.
And out of a bill of 4 bands, one is going to maybe attain it, right? Mm-hmm. But you don't lose anything because it's a Tuesday night.
Right.
So they're positioning themselves as a, hey, like, we're giving you an opportunity. Rise to the occasion and whatever. And you know what? If they didn't have that, if they didn't, let's just say, for argument's sake, it was a Tuesday night and they had one band, or between 4 bands, 12 people showed up. Mm-hmm. Guess what? Those are 12 people that wouldn't have been in that bar anyway.
True. Well, and you
they
had
lose
bars
nothing.
that used to do things like that, and that used to be the night for your open mic. Mm-hmm. And I'm not seeing those as much anymore.
No.
You know, like a venue, instead of booking an open mic and allowing bands to go up and play 3 songs and try and build a following, because you've built a following with the open mic as the thing, what you have is them booking 3 bands and saying, bring your fans for your 45-minute set. Mm-hmm. And then the other band brings their fans. And that is where I think, like, think about the Downtown, man. That was a Wednesday night, you know, Tuesday night. That was a Tuesday night, and it was great because it had its own thing. And when you have it to where it's an open mic and every band gets 3 songs, and you're able to bring in 7, 8 bands that want to play, well, those 7, 8 bands are bringing some of their friends, mm-hmm. and they're staying and they're hanging out, and they're hanging out because someone's gonna stay for their band set for 30 minutes and then leave. Mm-hmm. No one's gonna leave after 3 songs. They just got their drink, you know.
Right.
I think that's a much better model for trying to build a night. What you get, and I think that is a usable and a good model to do for bands that are coming up, for bands that are making their first record, for bands that are trying to get shows, that are newer to the scene. The problem is, and I can only speak from my own experience, is that I'm not looking to book a night for you so that I can play your night. I'm looking to bring my band and at least 2 of my friends' bands, and then a new band, and put on a 4-band bill, and create a big night out of it, and promote it months out, and create an event.
Yeah.
And put on a concert. I can't do that on a Wednesday.
No.
I cannot do that on a Wednesday. Not locally. I can't.
You know what? It's the local level, you know? That's what it is. Mm-hmm. Unless you're a part of a super big tour package, that's just kind of what it is.
And it's unfortunate because we've put together shows that have brought in thousands of dollars for a bar. Mm-hmm. We've put together shows that put 500 people or more in a room. Mm-hmm. We've done that. And we've done that consistently. You know, and you could say COVID killed it. You can say that because this bar closed that's over and everything, but I just don't think it is. I think that the problem is that everybody's so gun shy to do anything different that they're just trying to scrape by and they're just trying to pay their bills. And so even if they'd like to, it's like, man, I can't afford to even take the chance that doesn't work. I can put on insert tribute band name or cover bands night or 90s night or emo night or whatever it is, and I can put on all these bands, and I know people are going to come, and it's going to be a thing, which is great. It's a drag for us that aren't a part of that, or that don't get anything out of that, and they're not going to book us with it, which is also the thing that sucks, because if they're not, it's like, it's not that nobody wants the next big band to come from their area.
No. It has nothing to do
Everybody
with that.
wants that.
Everybody
wants the next Foo Fighters to come out of their town.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
But, like, the next Foo Fighters might be in your town, and none of your venues will book them. Because they can't afford to. Mm-hmm. Because if it doesn't go right, they lose a night, and then they could lose the bar. Like, it's right. And I think that's where we are right now, and I think it's unfortunate, and it's scary, and it sucks. But I think it sucks equally for everybody. Except for the bands that command that are doing it for the money, and that's, I don't want to sound like I'm always shitting on cover and tribute bands, but like they're doing it, and I'm not saying that they don't love what they do, but they're getting paid. They're doing it for the money, and so they're getting to do that, and they have that on. Hey man, nothing against it. I get it. Mm-hmm. I absolutely get it. When I talk bad about those things, it's because jealousy, because I can't get those gigs. They're not booking me with them. I'll play with any tribute band out there. We used to, and it was great. It was fun. What becomes a problem is like, well, no one wants to pay us, but they want to pay them. So how do we work that out?
Right.
Because, it's like it becomes a touchy situation, but it's not something that can't be worked out. It's not something that can't be talked about. It's not something that can't be figured out. And I think we are just in a time where something new has to happen. Some new way of doing it has to happen for local original music, at least in our area, to survive.
Yeah. I mean, I've thrown the idea out there of, and you said, you talked about like tribute bands and this and that. And I think that you might be in a better genre space than I am, per se, on certain things, right? But man, you know what? If you were to put two original bands, right? Mm-hmm. Two original bands that working hard, not going to chase people away from your shit, man. Even my band, and I'm not trying to like suck my own dick here, but like when we play, we're tight.
Yeah.
So
well, you're tight and you're good, and you have good songs, and you have hooks, and people enjoy it.
People don't fucking leave.
Yeah.
They may not particularly care for the style.
Right.
But they don't fucking leave because they're like, oh wow, this is fucking awful.
Right.
So I could say that, but if you were to take two bands that are working hard, they're doing the right thing for their craft, and they're gonna entertain people, why not put them under a cover band, right? You get two bands that are gonna bring their fans, right?
Yeah.
You're gonna have your normal clientele, which, I mean, listen, I want to shift to that next.
Yeah.
Because that's another thing that we haven't talked to about bars, normal clientele.
Right.
We didn't talk about that yet, but let's just say hypothetically, you have a normal clientele.
Yeah. Right.
And then you bring two bands together, originals, and then you have a cover band play to be the jukebox for your evening. Well, now you've got two bands that have brought, let's just say, a smaller venue. You got two bands that brought 25, 30, 40 people each, right?
Yep.
Now you've got 80 people plus your clientele. And then you've got a jukebox playing at the end of the night to keep that going.
Yeah.
Right?
I think it's smart.
Why wouldn't you do that? But So this is one of the things that I wanted to bring up, and this is one of the things that I fucking hate about venues and their bullshit and things that, and this is why I approach music the way I do.
Right.
And you know what? There's a great venue out there. It's called fucking YouTube. It's called it's called Spotify, where I get paid.
That's a symbol.
That's a symbol.
That's a symbol behind my head.
I get paid for just having my music out there.
Right.
I'm happy to be at a point that I'm able to self-sustain that, right?
Mm-hmm.
So that is what it is. But you've got a business, right? You run a business. And you're telling people, well, you have to bring 50 to 75 people to play in my business,
mm-hmm.
right? On a Tuesday night. Okay. I get it. I get that there are overhead costs.
Yeah.
Right?
Right.
But guess what? If my band didn't bring 25, 30 people on a Tuesday fucking night, you know how many people would be in that bar? 0. Fucking 0.
Yeah.
And the same goes for what you dealt with your thing at AMH,
yep.
where it was like, we're going to lock the doors and not have this show. You know what? If you don't have this show, the business owner is not going to have...
This is 6 bands.
Any money...
sold tickets for tonight.
Come into the bar.
Where's your integrity?
Peek behind the curtain here, folks. You remember the days of, well, if your crowd drinks, you get money back from the bar? We don't get money back from the bar.
No.
If you bring in X amount of people, you keep that. No, you cut in the bar on everything. And I get it. I get why you have to do that. I get why they have to do that. I'm not disputing that. What I'm saying is that unless you have a name for yourself where you have a ton of people automatically coming in because they know that they can go to that bar or that venue and consistently they can pay their $5, their $10, whatever it is, and they can go and they can consistently see a good show. Those days are gone.
Right.
Those days are gone. Those were 80s, 90s, and I hear about it all the fucking time. I'm done with it. That's not how they treat it now. They treat it as a privilege, that we are privileged to play their venue.
Mm-hmm.
Listen, I'm grateful.
Play for exposure.
I'm grateful that you give me a platform and a space to do that, but don't act like you're doing me a fucking favor, because I'm bringing the people.
Right.
You can have it. You can have that fucking thing. I'm not asking you to play your venue to, like, not put anybody in the room to play to or spend money on drinks that you overcharge for, quite frankly, for the most part.
Yeah.
Right? For most of these venues. I'm going to say, not beers. My go-to is the Miller High Life bucket. $20, 5 beers.
Well, you're also drinking Miller High Life bucket.
Why are you scoffing at it?
I'm not.
Why are you saying it? You're saying it like I'm a piece of shit.
No, I'm not. What I'm saying is that if you're going to come out and be like, some places overcharge for their drinks, and then your example is the place that doesn't because you drink Miller High Life there, I think that you're...
Okay, maybe I'm lowering the bar a little bit.
You're mixing issues there.
All right, I'm lowering the bar.
If you were to say, when I buy a Jameson at this bar, it's this price, and when I buy it at this bar, it's $5 cheaper.
Well, okay.
That is overcharging.
Right. Okay. I'm just saying in comparison,
right,
to. But back at my point was just basically like, listen, to the venue owners, while I do appreciate you providing the space to do these things, and I recognize that you are a business and that you need to take care of overhead, it comes back around to what you said originally.
Mm-hmm.
We're partners.
That's what I think.
We're business partners.
Lost. That's what I think has gotten lost, and I don't think that it's entirely the bar's fault.
I don't either. I don't either. But the fact that they treat you like garbage.
Well, yeah, and I think that
just
was
makes
built.
I
think that was built over time because I think what started to happen, and I'm not defending bars here, but what I am gonna say is I think that it goes back to what you said at the very beginning of this, which is the quality control thing. I think when you have a situation over a period of years,
mm-hmm.
right, where it's gotten that... all right, when I first started in a band, I was too young to be in the bar I was at. So I sat in the kitchen and waited for my chance to play.
Mm-hmm.
Now,
I think we've all kind of been there at some point.
But we recognized it as it was a privilege to play there.
Mm-hmm.
Because it was a privilege to play at a place that was known for having bands and having good bands.
Exactly.
And a place that was busy all the time.
Exactly.
So that privilege to us manifested in us working our asses off to do
the right thing,
to promote that show, to get as many people to that show as possible, because we wanted them to know that not only are we not going to chase your people out of this place because we're going to be rehearsed and we're going to kick ass, but we're going to bring new people into your place.
Mm-hmm.
And that then to the bar was understood as
mm-hmm.
we are partners in this night. This night, this is what's going to happen. And when you negotiated with the bar at that first level, that first show, you couldn't negotiate shit. You just took what you got.
Took what you got.
Took what you got.
But there's a reason for it. There was a reason for it, and you prove yourself, right?
But once you proved yourself, you had to continue. Like, you set a standard, and once you set a standard, you have to meet that standard
mm-hmm.
every time. But the place that you played also had a standard,
mm-hmm.
and they had to meet that standard every time.
There's,
it's not my fault that you wanted 300 people in here tonight and I brought 100 or 150. That's not, I didn't fail your night because I went and promoted and brought 150 people that don't know you exist.
I think that's and that's one of the things that I did want to talk about here is in terms of okay, so you brought 120 or 150 people, whatever it may be.
Right.
You wanted
whatever
X
number
amount,
it
right?
is. Yeah.
So there's also what the bars do. You went and you promoted.
Yes.
What do the bars do to promote, right?
And so the first bars, and I'm sorry, I don't mean to interrupt you.
No.
I'm kind of finishing my thought randomly as we go.
Mm-hmm.
So the first bars that we played, we negotiated advertising with them.
There you go.
We were like, and they negotiated with us. They were like, okay, we're going to be putting out ads. Send us this, this, and this. And we said, okay, and we put together
mm-hmm.
this. We put the work in to put it together and
bars,
send it to them.
When you would book something somewhere, and I mean, shit, man. Sometimes they would fucking just put ads out in local papers, and they'd make sure that the spelling was right. And do you have a picture?
Yes.
But I remember those days.
What happened?
A long time ago.
Right. Well,
it was a very long time ago.
What I think happened was we got into the age of the internet, and we got
mm-hmm.
into the age of MySpace, Facebook, et cetera, et cetera, et
Sure.
cetera. And slowly, it turned into, I can advertise online and reach way more people, so I won't put the money into advertising on radio or in print, and instead I'll advertise on my MySpace page, right? And that'll reach more people. Okay, but you're not reaching people. You're reaching people everywhere. You're not reaching people in your area.
Right. But also...
And you're not reaching them with a call to action, and you're not reaching them in a timely manner and then on the night.
And then once things started to monetize, then you're literally only reaching the people within your circle.
Well, yeah. That's a whole other thing.
And half the time, I mean, we deal with it here on the podcast, is half the time it doesn't reach... 90% of your circle.
The algorithm's there, right?
But that's I do digress.
And that's what I'm saying though, is that, and the bars went through that too. The bars went through. I made a website and a Facebook page and a MySpace page, and that generates way more traffic than a radio ad would. And the radio ad costs this much, and then radio, when everybody started pulling their ads and going on to other platforms. Radio decided that, we have to charge more for our ads then, because one, you're going to get more ad space, and two, we don't have as much money coming in with ads. Mm-hmm. Or the station would charge way less, and then anybody, and it just got flooded with ads.
Right.
And so now, instead of driving to work and hearing an ad for the bar in your town with a clip from the band's music that's going to be playing at that bar, and a voiceover guy going, this Friday night, something heavy and craving strange.
Shout out.
Only at.
I do want to say, shout out to Rob Rush, because he's who does that here in Long Island.
Right.
He's the guy.
Instead of that, the venue and the bands both put out MySpace ads.
Yeah.
Or Facebook ads. Or Twitter tweet, those type of things. And as much as we like to think that reaches more people, it reaches way less. Quick reminder that this show is brought to you by our brand new sponsor, Mythical Beards. Check them out, mythicalbeards.com. You can get stickers, you can get hoodies, you can get all that kind of stuff, but most importantly, you can get shit for your face.
Keep your beard fresh, keep it clean, keep it groomed. If it's good enough for Mick Foley, god damn it, it's good enough for us.
I'm wearing the Kraken right now.
I am actually wearing the Dracula.
Nice.
And that's why I smell like an old-time barbershop.
If you go to mythicalbeards.com and use the promo code
BACON15,
you get 15% off your entire order. The show is also brought to you by our good friends at GrillYourAssOff.com, where you can also get 15% off of your order of all spices, grilling rubs.
They're delicious freaking sauces.
Yes, delicious sauces, all that kind of stuff. Every season is grilling season. If you like to cook.
Yes.
So definitely check it out. GrillYourAssOff.com. Use the promo code
BACON, because it'll keep grilling season all year fucking long.
15% off with the promo code. 10% off at drinkwildbills.com, where you can get all kinds of great sodas, which we've seen lots of mixers for. So keep sending them in. Hashtag drinkwildbills. Hashtag what's your bacon. Send us your beverage options
of choice.
And also PodDecks.com. You can see them in another part of the show.
Yes, indeed.
But both of those, 10% off, use the promo code BACON. So
yes.
Check it out. Let us know what you think. Let us know what you got. Use them. Find them. If you can't remember what we just said, go to baconismypodcast.com. Everything's there. Check it out. Thanks for watching.
And if you pay for it, and hey, we fell for it recently.
Oh, we all did. We all did.
But people see through. Okay, you've done now. Facebook has this thing where you can target your ads and do this and do that and figure out what. Listen, just because a particular post gets 500, 600 likes doesn't mean it did anything.
Right. Well, it certainly doesn't mean your next post does anything. And it absolutely doesn't mean that translates to more people at your show in your town.
Right.
right? And that's where I think bands are fucking up.
Yeah.
Right? Mm-hmm. And you and I included in that. Because we have this mindset of our platform that we can go to is way bigger. Right? We can go on YouTube and have a bigger platform.
The problem is not honing in on a particular thing, and we could get into the weeds on this.
Well, yeah, of course.
But I do want to bring it back to so I do agree with you with the old school advertising back and forth kind of thing. I'm sure we've gone a while on this, but
probably.
But what I do want to bring up is, and especially now post COVID, there were bars that were thriving. Mm-hmm. And there were bars that were getting by on the skin of their teeth, and there was all sorts of things. The deck has been dealt completely differently.
Yeah.
Now, right? But I have heard, I have heard things, with certain venues and venue owners and stuff like that becoming, quote unquote, jaded to original music and becoming jaded to allowing original music and not, I mean, some were flat out blaming the fact that they were original music venues, and some kind of alluding to it and just saying, well, I took too much of a chance with it and this and that. I personally call bullshit, and that's just me. Mm-hmm. I don't know where you fall on that, but I personally think that you can. I think you do have to play quality control in a lot of ways.
I think that's the biggest thing.
But at the same time, and you have to be more engaged in that aspect of things if you're gonna hang your hat on an original music bar. But to blame original music and original bands as the downfall for your business,
I think that's bullshit.
Is complete bullshit.
Yeah, I agree with you there. I think that, and my viewpoint has changed over the years. Mm-hmm. And we all do change it. I'm willing to admit that, and I'm more than happy to admit that I have been extremely wrong in things in the past. I don't think that a venue can make it as a purely original music venue. I don't think that is a viable.
I don't think so
plan.
Either.
I also don't think that a venue can make it as a purely cover band and tribute band place with live music, because I just think they're going to run into the problem of too much of the same and too many of the same bands playing there.
I'm gonna tell you what, and again, band gossip. Again, Artie.
Yeah.
He tells me all the time that he'll reach out to a new venue, and they'll go, "Cool, what's your draw?"
Right.
It's like, what?
Yeah.
Like, you're asking a cover band, what's your draw?
Right.
You shouldn't be asking a cover band.
No.
Go ask an acoustic instrumentalist.
What do you charge?
Go ask, Tommy McGee and his fucking cajon how much he charges, because that's you're in the wrong business here.
If I opened a venue tomorrow.
It sounds like a nightmare, but go on.
Yeah.
I don't envy venue owners either. So
the only way that I can see a venue in this current time and place working is if they try and do a little bit of everything, which sucks. Because
it does.
You have the idea of niche down, niche down, niche down. Niche down on nights. But as your venue, I would have to have it be, I would partner with some local coffee fucking place, and I would make it that during the day. So that people could go there and go online and do office shit and get cold brews during the day. That's what I would do. I would have to have that happen. And then at a certain time, it opens up and I'd have to have a menu. And I would have to have a venue. And that venue would be, on certain nights, I'd have karaoke. On certain nights, I would have acoustic singer-songwriters. And I would do an open mic for bands. And I would do an open mic for singer-songwriters. And I would try and cultivate a scene. And I would also do tribute and cover and original bands. But I would do them all on the same night. I would have original bands open up for tribute bands. I would say, like, if I wanted to book something heavy, I would book you on a night where I booked, like, a Rage Against the Machine tribute and some other tribute band, right? If I'm in a band and I want to book a place, I wish I could find a tribute band or a cover band that did funk music, that did dance funk music, that I didn't have to pay to play with us. Because I can't do that as a band member. I can't say, hey, I want to have Something Heavy, Revel 9, Craving Strange play a show, and then I want a dance funk band to close the night and just create a vibe. Because I have to pay that band thousands of dollars.
Right. And
our bands aren't going to make anything anyway. So if I was a venue, I would book that kind of a night. And I would be like, okay, every time I booked original bands, I would be like, who can I book to bookend
around it
that night? Who can I book to close that night that's going to work with those bands and also give me extend the night?
It would also, you know, and when we talk original music, we're talking from a band perspective, right? Mm-hmm. I gotta be honest, I don't think there's enough avenues for pop music, for rap music, for
when do you see original rap and pop music anywhere?
Like, you fucking don't, and I think,
and
you know
I've
what,
worked in bars so long, and I've heard, I would love to do a hip-hop night, but I would love to do this genre night, but...
You know what?
Over and over again, I've heard that.
What you do is, you know what you do? You take a fucking top 40 band, or you take a 90s band, or you take a this, or you take a that, and you add the pop and that kind of stuff. Yeah. Because you know what? The people that are listening to pop right now and rap right now, they're going to turn around, they're going to go, oh shit, top 40.
Right.
And they're going to stay. They're going to fucking stay the night.
Well, and you know why venues don't do that? I'll tell you exactly why right now.
Go.
Here's the reason. One, nobody's presented it to them. Two, because they can't afford. If they book a night where a bunch of people locally come to the show, it is so much easier to go, what style of music was that? What era was that? That's my identity.
Yeah.
And book that the next night. That, when I worked at the bar that I worked at, I'm not going to say the name just because, but the people that know. Right? The downfall of that bar was that they were relying on the same, 6 tribute acts that have played there for a decade. Because at one point, that brought people in. And people knew that anytime they went there, their era was going to be represented. So if I can go to a bar, I'll even tell you now, a new bar that just opened. Our buddy Tom from Revolution Nostalgia. Opened Nostalgia, right? Nostalgia is going to be great because everyone that is into 90s can go there. And they can go there every single night, and every single night there's going to be a 90s theme. And if that's your era and that's your thing that you like, it's going to go great.
It's going to go there.
But you know what's going to happen is, I don't know how long that's going to last. It'll last for a while, but you're going to age out your audience.
Yeah.
Because you're relying on an era. Mm-hmm. And if you rely on an era, at some point, and this is what happened to the place that I worked, everybody got older. And then after COVID, people weren't coming back. And it was like people were dying in the bands that would play. Yeah. Like it's you get into a situation where you can't just hold on to something so tightly that you hang your hat on it and make it your identity. You have to be able to you got to move. You got to bob and
diversify.
Weave. You have to be able to do that. But it's so scary to do that when you're paying the kind of rents that I know these venues are paying. And they're like, fuck, I had a multi-$1,000 night with this era and this genre. There's no way that the very next night I'm going to put on something current that if a bunch of those people come back the next night to go out, that they're going to leave immediately when the music starts. And this goes back to our conversation about tribalism in music.
Well, what I want to say is this, is what the venues need to also recognize is this. You want to do one of two things, right? You're creating a venue or you're creating a bar. Okay?
Yeah.
If you want the same clientele to come in and day out, same thing over and over again, you're going to get a bar full of drunks.
Yep.
Right?
Yep.
And regardless of what era you represent in that bar, you're going to age out your drunks. If you do something and you take your 7 nights and you do something different every night and you try and cater to whatever that night may be and whatever your clientele may be, and maybe you've got to shift the nights. Maybe you go, oh, well, maybe
you've got to deal with a couple failed nights. You have to.
Right.
But you build them. You build each night as its own thing. You have to build it.
Yeah. I mean, I don't own a bar. I don't know the first thing about owning a bar, but I get it.
That's why I was saying I would try and niche out every night. Because maybe your clientele from last night's going to come in tonight and hate the music and they're going to leave, but maybe they'll come back next Tuesday because they know that's their night. And if you can create destination viewing,
and on top of that, if they hate that night, all you have to do is put something out that represents another night, right? So if somebody comes for fucking trivia night and they hate it, but they go, oh shit, there's a top 40 night.
Yeah.
Oh shit, there's a 90s night. Oh shit, there's a this. All you have to do is just say that it's there.
Yep.
And then people may not love this night. They'll avoid your bar like the plague.
On that night.
But they'll come on another night.
That's the other thing I'm saying is that it goes both ways. You know, when you cater to just one clientele, you'll get that clientele. If you vary your clientele, you're going to lose people, but I think you're going to gain people as well on the specific nights that they want to be there. If you, from the jump, just try and build it to where, hey, this is our neighborhood, and we know that there are people that are in this neighborhood in this 7-mile radius.
That's the other thing that you got to realize is distance.
Yeah.
And clientele.
Well, you got to cater to the people that are, if you're trying to build your clientele, you got to cater to the people in your area.
Well, I think that's
book
that's
people
a huge,
that won't chase people away.
I do think that's a huge difference between a bar and a venue. because a bar is just is something that happens every every night a week, right?
Yeah.
A venue needs to create a destination.
Well, I think a bar needs to create a destination too. I think if you create
something that's good enough, you do create a destination. I agree.
So it's funny. I think being in a band is booking, planning everything for everybody that's not in a band. I'll put it in a way that I think that makes sense, and for everybody that's in a band, maybe you've never thought about it this way, and maybe it'll help. But like being in a band or leading a band or running a band, right, is episodic. You have to look at what you're doing, but you have to do it in a way that feeds into the next bunch of things, the next bunch of episodes. Tonight's show is worthless unless it feeds the next show.
And again,
which feeds the next release, which feeds the next video.
Which is what I said. What's next?
Right. And I think as a bar owner, if I owned a bar, which I've never done, but I've been close to the management and the inner workings of a number of them, I think that a successful or a way to make it more successful in this current climate of running things is to also think of it as episodic. You can't think of what is this? I'm booking tonight for tonight only. I'm booking tonight to find who I can book next month. I'm booking this band because I did research on this band and their following is this, but their interactions are from other bands as well, so that I can get a bigger pool of bands to choose from because I can't rely on the same 5.
I'm going to say this. I think that's why it's important that a talent agent is involved, but what you need to have is an engaged talent agent, right?
Right.
So you need, or if you want to say manager, whatever you want to say, but a bar owner has a lot, right? I'm not going to stand here and go, well, the bar owner doesn't know what the fuck they're doing.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, they're not there to book bands.
The bar owner,
they're dealing with liquor costs. They're dealing with rent. They're dealing with insurance. They've
got so much on their plate.
Yeah,
it's why they have a manager, somebody in-house an in-house person that's gonna deal with that kind of stuff. If you have somebody who's good at dealing with talent and that kind of stuff, maybe that's what the world needs. Talent management,
which means more quality control.
Exactly. Back to the beginning. Quality control. It's funny. We had these 2 other PodDecks questions. We had 3 things I wish I had done differently.
Which could have been a great episode, yeah.
Book review, my last read. So you go ahead. You go first.
My last book I read? Oh, God. I haven't read a book in a couple of years, to be honest. A book. I've read comics.
I read comics all the time. So
I've read that stuff.
Okay, so give me your last graphic novel.
No, I want to think about the book thing.
Oh, because I don't want to think about the book thing because I figured out through my library that I could get comics on my iPad.
Yes.
And I can get audiobooks.
Yes.
So I don't read books. I let them read themselves to me.
Right.
So
you are read to by books.
I am read to by books. I am beyond books. No, but seriously, so I would encompass all of those things.
Yeah. Okay.
Because books are books. I mean, Jen seems to think so. She's like, oh, you're involved in the library.
You're reading.
It's
right.
reading.
Okay.
Ish. It's reading-ish.
Yeah. It's reading-esque.
I will say, so my last audiobook that I listened to was the Anthony Kiedis, and I've read it already.
Yeah.
But I just wanted to, when it first came out, but I wanted to read it again, and I never got a chance to. But I found the audiobook, and it turned out it was being dictated by Corey from Boy Meets World.
Oh.
No, not Corey. Sean.
Okay.
Sean from Boy Meets World.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, so that was the last one. Oh, no, that was one of the last ones. It's not...
I think the last one I probably read was probably Chris Jericho's most recent book. It was like a year ago or so.
Okay. I have it. I have it. I read it, and then I did
but
listen to it again.
It's a lot of matches, like a timeline type thing.
Yes,
so I don't know if that counts as much. And then I've read a couple books on like one on singing and another one on like music business.
I did a graphic novel of like the first. I did like the first 8 Ninja Turtles comic books, the original ones, like the very like super original ones.
My brother just bought me for Christmas. I just got it a couple weeks ago. He was at a comic store and he found Return of the Jedi comics from 1980 whatever.
Yeah.
Right? And they're the original comics that were printed with Return of the Jedi. And so I'm going to read those, but I have all 4. I have all 4 issues.
Nice.
That exist of that comic.
That is fantastic.
Yeah, they're backing boards and everything like that. So I don't want to touch them with human hands right now.
I've got gloves inside. I'll give you some gloves.
I got some gloves. I got some gloves I can use. Okay. But I'm looking forward to reading those. I'm super excited to read those.
Awesome. So we're not literary giants, but you know what?
You know what's crazy is that I really love reading.
I enjoy reading.
I really do. I don't have. I shouldn't say I don't have time to. I don't make time to.
I don't make time to either.
Yeah. You know,
I like hanging out with my kids. That's why I don't read. You know, I'll hang my hat on that.
Yeah. All right.
I don't think that's a good excuse.
No, that's a good. That's a cop-out excuse that makes you sound great.
I read books with my children.
Right. Yeah.
They're level 1. Like I read lots of Pinkalicious.
I watch shows with my girlfriend.
I read Pinkalicious. Pinkalicious will teach you a lot of things.
Yeah.
So yeah.
What did it teach you?
Well, it's okay to be different.
It is okay to be different. And you know what? That's our take home today.
Right?
Right.
Because we're original bands. We're different.
We're different. You know?
Sometimes we could be the same.
Sometimes the world gets you down. Sometimes it feels like you can't get a gig, or you can't book a band, or you can't make rent, or you can't do this, or you can't do that.
I feel like we need to end this with like the Bill Pullman Independence Day speech. I will not go down without a fight. No, because we can't do that.
I was gonna say I'll look it up and do it, but it's copyright protected.
Yeah, it's copyright.
I will say though, it is okay to be different, and it is okay to have different opinions, and it's okay to have a different opinion than our opinion from today. We just picked a random PodDecks question and we went with it. It's okay to have the same opinion too.
I got to tell you, I'm really excited about this episode because I mean, it turned out to be way different and way more awesome than we originally intended to.
Right. Hopefully it was awesome.
We have verbal diarrhea. Thank you, PodDecks.
Thanks, PodDecks.
10% off bacon in the promo code.
Yeah.
Space.
You know what's funny? For a company that doesn't really do a lot for us, they really do a lot for us.
Yeah. Right? Even got a fucking segment.
Yeah, exactly.
And now a whole show.
Thank you guys for hanging out. Thanks for spending some time with us. Thanks for spending your time with us.
Yes.
Your time is valuable. So is ours. So if you want to help us with that, jump on our Patreon and help us out.
Yeah.
Help us out over there. Or jump over to baconismypodcast.com where you can buy a t-shirt like the one Mike is wearing.
Mm-hmm. It's got a back to it too.
Or many other shirts. If you did not see the fun dance he's doing, it's because you are listening to us on a streaming platform. Jump over to strangerhoodtv.com.
And you can see my ass.
And check out the show. We are every Monday, every Wednesday, every Friday on StrangerhoodTV.
Indeed.
.com over on YouTube. It'll take you right there. It is a cool network. There's a lot of cool shows on there, like
including
Top 20. There's My Five. Lots of cool stuff. There's
drum throughs.
Drum throughs.
With Chris and not me. Because I'm worried about. I'll show you some of my drum videos.
Oh, I'm excited. I'm excited.
Yeah.
So, thank you guys once again for just spending a little time with us. Hope you enjoyed it. Hope you had a good time.
Indeed.
Hope you learned something. If you didn't learn anything, hope you didn't get too pissed off.
Indeed, and don't forget. So we do have our stream. It's not going to be tomorrow night,
right.
Unfortunately, but we will be back next week with another.
The continuing saga.
The saga
of us making a
fucking record.
Right? Is it a record?
Or record.
Maybe it's a record. Maybe it's an EP. Maybe it's singles.
Yeah. Twitch.tv.
We'll decide. You can help us decide.
Bacon is my pod. We've got it coming out.
Yeah, you're involved in every process. So
Indeed.
Jump on, check it out. Thank you guys for that new thing that you're checking out for us. I am Jimmy G. You can find me at Jimmy G Shoes on all the socials. I sing for a band called Craving Strange. We are at cravingstrange.net.
And they're wonderful.
Thanks, buddy. You can find us there, and you can find all our socials there. All our links are there. Our new song, Me What You Say, is out now.
Mm-hmm.
Please check it out. Let us know what you think. And we've got stuff in the works. I don't know when, but things are sort of happening. We're trying to book some shows.
I mean...
And you're hearing the stress. That's
right, exactly. The fact that, like, I mean, listen, we between the two of us,
yeah,
like already with this, we've got plenty of shit coming out.
So many things coming out,
but we also have more shit coming out.
Right. So just
we have more shit coming out.
Keep in touch with us because my brain
cool.
is slowly shutting down from all the things that I'm trying to keep track of.
Absolutely.
Where do they find you, my friend?
Me personally, I am at me and my own self, Mike. That's all my personal stuff. You can see fun photos of me and my children. My children are pretty fucking cool.
They are pretty
right?
Cool.
They're pretty great.
They are pretty great.
And my wife. Yeah. She's pretty great too.
They're about your children are about 3 years away from thinking that your music is just lame and old.
No. Because you know what?
It's gonna happen.
It's not gonna happen.
It's totally gonna
because
happen.
Rock and roll will never die.
It's totally gonna happen.
It might happen. My music is at Something Heavy Music on the socials. Something Heavy on all digital streaming platforms. We got a new single out called Circles. Thank you for everybody who. Thank you, Jimmy.
It's awesome.
Thank you for everybody who's listened to it. I really appreciate the positive feedback because. Fuck, man, we need it.
I put it on a playlist. You should put it on a playlist.
As musicians, we can use all of the encouraging words as possible.
Yeah, as much as we talk on here like we're so sure as shit, we're insecure babies.
Yeah, exactly.
Check us out on Twitch and watch us try and write songs and see what insecure babies we are.
Mm-hmm.
It'll
Absolutely.
be great.
If you have a hard time remembering all of that, you can find it at baconsmypodcast.com. It's the portal to everything. It'll bring you to Strangerhood. It'll bring you to Craving Strange. It'll bring you to Something Heavy, and it'll bring you to the Twitch, and it'll bring you to all of our sponsors. We'll give you the best
prices.
Deals on everything that you could possibly get. And now
we're negotiating.
We're gonna finish this night. It's the third episode that we recorded tonight.
Yeah.
And you know what that means?
It's probably the best one.
Yeah, it's probably
of the
best one.
Honestly,
of the night. I mean, you saved the best for last.
Maybe.
I mean, we had the best for last.
Oh man, you're bringing me back.
Yeah. One of our topics was possibly prom night things.
Yeah.
So we'll do that eventually.
Sometimes the sun goes around the moon.
I love it. Till the next time, everybody. Get ready because Vatic is up next. He's gonna.
What?
He's gonna be on What's Your Baking 7 Questions tomorrow. Friday.
Okay, cool.
So
good episodes
it's
coming
a fun
up.
episode. It's a long What's Your Baking, so
it is.
Enjoy and always
in.
remember. What's the question that you need to ask yourself? I went blank.
What's your bacon?
Yes!
Duh.
World peace.
Shazam.